I've heard a lot of people, like, over the past really since I've been online, I feel like this has just been a what's the right word? What am I thinking of? Like a full assumption within the male dating scene, aka men dating females, the dating scene for men. Um I've heard a lot of discourse about this recently though, like men, have super high standards, don't go for any of these girls that go into these categories, there's XXX for like you should avoid her. If you go online, there's a bunch of like YouTube shorts and Instagram reels and TikToks that are like these huge kind of stupid videos about these fitness gurus or these relationship gurus who are talking about something like, men, here are the top 5 signs that you should avoid this woman. And I'm not discrediting those videos, like I'm not saying there's no merit or value to them, but like it's all so overblown. Not every woman is this complete, and excuse me for saying this, but it's just how everyone calls them. Not every woman is this big hoe who, goes out and has a relationship with like 10 different dudes at the same time. Or, she's going to the bar every single weekend, and she's coming home with some man every week. Now, there are some women like that, a lot of them in the college scene and young women in general. Or, of course, women who make sex working their whole entire work, or baby mamas or whatever you want to call them. Those women exist. But on average, most women are not like that. Unless they're going to the club every single week, most women are not, they're not just getting hit on and, taking men home to their house every single week or even every single month. Like, most women are actually searching for a relationship. And the internet does not want you to believe that. I've seen so many people, criticize and say, oh, women, they're not in it for relationships anymore. Men can't find anyone. It's like, shut up, please, shut up. Men can find people. Men can find people. They can. You have to work on yourself, and you have to put yourself around people at your level. See, for me, if you couldn't tell, sorry for the camera shake, by the way. I'm trying to hold this with one hand. But if you couldn't tell, I am fat, right? I'm not just like 10, 20 pounds overweight. No, you can tell. You can tell by my hands. My hands, they're huge. But like they're big hands on their own, but you can tell there's some fat on them. My face has some fat, My arms are pretty big. Now, I mean, I like to think there's some muscle there. There isn't very much, right? Even though I do go to the gym now. But like at my peak, I was like 320, 330 pounds. And I'm 6'2", so it's like, okay, it's not like the craziest thing you've heard. There have probably been people who are 6'2" or like 1,000 pounds. I think there has been, right? But I'm like, I was 320, 330 at one point. And this was like the beginning of this year, like December, January, 2025, 2026. And, around February, March, I just kind of like was sick. I was sick of myself. I was sick of feeling so fat and so shamed upon. I was sick of getting bullied. And so I've made it my goal to lose 100 pounds in 2 years. And I'm down 20. So my goal is to be between 200 and 220 by the end of next year, if that makes sense. Like, lose around or maybe a little more than 100 pounds. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing. And like I said, just then, like, I've lost like 20, 30 pounds. I've been going to the gym like every day, like 5 times a week. I get 2 rest days, Wednesday, Sunday, but every other day I'm going to the gym. Every day I'm trying to hit 10,000 steps by any means necessary. And I feel better. I am tired because I go to the gym at night because I have work, and then in the, school in the morning. I'm not going to the gym at 5 a.m. So, I'm hitting it at like 10, 10:30. And then, of course, when I get home, like, I want to enjoy my hobbies. I want to play games with my friends. I want to write or read. or draw. I'm kind of an artsy dude, and I like to do that stuff. And I'll do that for like an hour or two, and then before you know it, it's midnight or 1 a.m. and I gotta wake up at like 6:30 the next day to either start on work, get some yard work or landscaping done, help family members, just get myself up in the morning. I find that if I wake up early and I read my Bible, I'm in a much better mood and headspace. So I've been trying to hit that, waking up no later than 7. And because of that, I've been getting like 7 hours of sleep every night. And it's not, I can work with that. It's not unhealthy. It just makes me more tired. But my whole entire point with this entire like 4-minute tangent is just to tell you guys, like, you shouldn't have these insane standards, all right? The fitness gurus who are super good looking, have good style, have good scent, work hard, make money, those dudes should have really high standards. They should be going for the girls who are super fit, super healthy, smell good, look good, work hard, because it matches them. But they're telling all of the people, and they led me down this path of a lie, a delusion, that me, with my 330-pound fatness, should want some woman who isn't overweight or isn't underweight, who has like a good weight to them, who is active, who is super smart and funny and social, when I'm a fat, overweight, unathletic, introverted dude. Those people, those fitness YouTubers, those relationship gurus, they lied to me and said that, you know what, you should just have these high standards. No, you should have somewhat high standards. No one should be going to try and date a stripper. Like, that is some tier 0 simping absolute garbage that you could be doing. Like, don't do that, okay? Don't do that. I don't think I need to tell you. It's common sense. Don't try and date those type of women. But like, don't have this expectation that some pretty blonde, tan, hot girl who's super fit and super nice is just gonna fall into your lap. Especially if you're overweight, or if you're super underweight, like you're really skinny, or even if you're skinny fat. Like, you should not expect that. You shouldn't expect to get this girl with perfect hair and a great laugh, and she does all these little things perfect, when you don't take care of yourself. You're fat, you don't have good hair, you don't smell good, you don't do a whole lot besides sit on your butt, maybe do some work, and maybe hang out with friends. Like that, you shouldn't do that. One of the big things with me recently is I've been reading my Bible, but I've also been reading other things. I was never a big reader up until I was like 14, 15. Like, I had no interest in it. I would rather just watch videos and stuff. Very visual learner. But after that, I kind of realized, like, no, I should give reading a try. And so I started reading a lot. And I've always been into writing. I love crafting stories, but I started to learn how to write better through school and YouTube and everything. And now I'm a decent writer. People love my work. My friends and family, they're not going to be too harsh on it, but they like my work. They think I'm a good writer. I've been working on myself is the point. Like, I've been working on my health. I've been working on my weight. I've been working on my eating habits. I've been working on my reading and writing skills, and I've become a better man, a better person. I've been reading my Bible. I've become a better man of God, and I'm going to make copious amounts of videos on that in the future. My whole point here, though, and this is going to go along with the title, is like, men, you need to lower your standards. Like, I had to lower my standards. I don't date. I'm not looking to date, but like, I'm at a point now where I'm not even thinking about like trying to ask out some hot blonde girl anymore. Like, when I was like 13, 14, 15, and I was still fat, and I was antisocial, I was stupid, I had horrible hair. My hair was awful back then. It's still not the best now, but like, it's decent, right? But like, back then, I genuinely believed I could pull like the hot girl in my social circle. Like, oh yeah, this, I'm not going to say her name because maybe she would see this, I don't know. But this girl, like, oh man, she's so hot, I would love to date her. When in reality, the only way she ever thinks of me is that I might be like funny to her. That's it. Like, she's never going to date me. And she's never going to even like entertain it ever. So like, you men, You have to lower your standards. Don't be like 15-year-old me, believing all these other fitness gurus, all these other idiots who are just, spamming you with these mindless things saying you should have insane standards. Now, I think you should have insane standards when it comes to the woman's personality, the woman's, if you're a spiritual guy, like, is she a Christian, or is she does she align with my spirituality, I guess? That's a big thing. Again, personality, big thing. Is she funny to you? Big thing. Not that she should be the funniest or the most spiritually in touch, but she should be she should be good enough for you in all those categories. And of course looks too. But a lot of men, that's where they stumble. Like they have normal standards across the board. But no, you have to be this specific girl who looks this specific way, and if you're not, no chance I'm ever dating you, let alone marrying you. And I think a lot of men, they seriously need to humble themselves. They need to work on themselves. Just shut up, work on yourself, and work up to the standard that you want. Like me, if let's say back then when I liked that hot girl, I was super fit. I was super, I was even funnier. I had good hair, all that. Then it wouldn't be impossible for me. Then it would make sense. Then it wouldn't be stupid and naive. But like right now, no, that's not a possibility. I can't date that hot girl. Right? I can't. But like 2 years down the line, when I'm only 200 pounds instead of 320 or 330, maybe it's more of a possibility. Or maybe if, I become a wiser man down the road, and just with age, I'll find a girl who's much more attractive than the standard I have now. Which, again, I'm not dating, but like my standard right now is like, you don't have to be, super hot. You just don't. Now, to me, it's like, you can't be obese, which is, kind of a lot coming from me because I am obese, but like, that's a rule for me. Like, still, like, no, you can't be morbidly obese. You can't be like skinny as an actual rail where you're like, 70 pounds. Like, no, like I'm not lowering myself to that standard, but it's like, if you're a little overweight or a little underweight, if your body doesn't have good features, like that's okay. It's okay. But once again, once I lose the weight, once I become a better person, once I, become smarter, become wiser, then I should raise my standards to like, okay, is this girl genuinely really attractive? But again, men, this is all targeted towards you. Lower your standards. Stop expecting these supermodels to fall into your lap. There's like men genuinely, they don't have any social life. They look like crap. They treat people like crap. They work a crappy job. They make no money. And they expect some angel housewife to just fall out of the sky and, for them to just hit it off. Sorry, men, but like that's not happening. That only happens, you only get the hot anime girl if you are a hot anime guy. Like, I hate to make that cringe correlation, but like, you gotta be relatively attractive to get a attractive girl. It's just the way the world works. I'm sorry, it is. Don't be like me at 330 pounds when you were 15 and trying to convince yourself and convince other people that like, oh yeah, this girl and I are gonna work. No, don't be stupid. And I think that's what I'm going to end this off with. Men, lower your standards. Don't be stupid. All right, guys. See you in the next video. Peace.